infection in any form, and twice Spa voted to force doctors to pressure patients with pointless, non-medical information. It's outrageous. They are our bodies, not Scott Bob's.
BJP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Honda's got it going on with hybrid and EV vehicles at your helpful Honda dealers. On with selection.
What up? Watching the Kings Toronto Maple Leafs. Not looking good for my Kings right now. We are down 2-0 towards the end of the first period. I might have to switch over to AEW Dynamite to see if Bobby Lashley debuts. That's the word on the street. We'll see what happens. We can talk about anything you want in the Earlverse on a Wednesday night. We are an open forum. I do this stream for the fans. Only fans. So I believe we have 2 of the 3 moderators in the house. The real question is, will Gina Babina make an appearance to complete the hat trick? Speaking of hat tricks, the Kings are down 3-0 right now. 2:48 left to go in the first period. We definitely might have to switch over to AEW Dynamite. I don't care if Bobby Lashley debuts or not. Poor big save Dave Riddich. He is being left out to dry. But it's early. Bobby McMahon, 2 goals. Yeah, I thought Askarov would be the starting goalie for the Sharks, but, I do like how they're not just giving him the gig. I'd like to know if the Kings made a play for him. I mean, they've certainly got enough prospects to send to Nashville, but apparently the Sharks had the better offer. Sharks are going to be good in a couple years. Mike Greer has gotten rid of most of the slop. So it will be interesting to see what happens with the Sharks. They'll have some games where they definitely get blown out. But, the future is very good. Whoa, Kempe. Kempe almost getting the Kings' first goal on there. It's a Comedy Store favorite, Adrian Kempe. Whoa. Minute 40 left in the period. Here comes Austin Matthews. I mean, this guy could score from the bathroom. I still am battling a lingering cough, but I feel much better. Thank you very much. Kings just not looking good so far early in the season. Not great to start the season with a 7-game road trip. But, what are you going to do? Now, Darcy Kemper, the goalie, is hurt. So the Kings had to do an emergency recall today. And Phoenix Copley is the backup tonight. Of course, he's coming off a torn ACL surgery, which I can't imagine how hard that must be for an NHL goalie to have a torn ACL rehab. But and the way this game is going, he might see action. But we'll see. I mean, it's still early. It's not like the Maple Leafs are some dominating team. But so far, the first period for the Kings, an F. Flat. They're not playing with any enthusiasm. Speaking of enthusiasm, I've started really trying to release more videos on YouTube. So please check those out when you can. Some are short form videos, some are shorts, some are long videos. Yeah, crazy story about Jake Ely. But you know what? Vegas is a real shithole. That Kings almost scored there. A little shoving in front. All right, let's go to AEW Dynamite. Let's get my clicker. All right, let's see what's going on here. It's Kings not doing very well. But, you know, in regards to Jake E. Lee, you know, walking around Vegas at night is it's no joke. I've done it because I'm a night owl. So they say he was walking his dog. I'll assume he's a night owl like I am. So 4 or 5 in the morning, there is some riff-raff in Vegas at that hour. I mean, I think I told you last night when I was walking around my hotel room for Hackamania. I mean, it's rough. So, you know, I believe he'll be okay from what I understand. But still, I mean, dude, last night, here's a crazy story. I'm at the, was it, it's a Rite Aid on Beverly and La Cienega. So if you're familiar with the Los Angeles area, that is literally right across the street from the Beverly Center. And, you know, I buy my energy drinks and orange juice and all that stuff to flush out this cold finally. And as I'm walking around the Beverly Center, a huge explosion happens about a 1/10 of a mile from where I'm at. I saw a big fireball in the sky. Now, it came from an area where there's a lot of nice houses. It actually came on the block that Eddie Nash's The Odyssey nightclub is, ironically enough. So I rush over there because I thought, maybe someone's sleeping. They might need help or whatever. Turns out it wasn't any of the homes, but it was this homeless guy fucking around with a propane tank. And this guy was so fucking bonkers. How he survived, I'll never know. I mean, I'm assuming he was holding the propane tank and it blew up. Not a scratch on him. Huge fireball blows up. Here we go. We got the hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. And me and like some of the I mean, it was a bomb, basically. I thought it might have been a gas line from one of the nice houses. And then we kind of cornered this homeless guy who started piling wood on the fire. And incredibly lucky, the house to the left of this explosion did not have wood shingles because there was a lot of timbers blowing on it. All right, Adam Cole coming out. Now, I'm behind on Dynamite, so if you guys are watching Dynamite, I apologize. And I'm getting a text right now. Let's see. This is very lucky. But, man, it was scary because me and Lois are just walking. We're just walking, and boom. Hello. So, and of course, I didn't have my phone on me. And I think they took down my comments on Citizen, the Citizen app, because I started plugging my YouTube channel. I mean, the Gina Bobina, Kip Smith, William Zoom hat trick. But it was pretty scary to see. I mean, the fireball was gigantic. It's good to see Adam Cole back. He's popular. Hopefully, his angle. Now, maybe they'll revive the Devil storyline now that he's back. Crowd's pretty hot. New T-shirt, nice T-shirt design. Well, the Kings are going to need a hat trick to get back in the Toronto Maple Leaf game. Got a guy wearing a California Angels hat in the front row. It's a weird thing to see. I think the election's 3 weeks from last night, right? So we can talk about that as well. All right. The sound's a little off, but this is AEW.
Because I did talk, but I didn't think about coming out here talking about my year-long road recovery on the challenges.
So,
how damn happy I am.
All right, he's starting with a speech. It's not a bad way to start. Nice shoes. The shoe game in AEW is strong. By the way, I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night. Thank you very much. If you guys are local yokels, that will be 12:15. The usual Brody, Kinnison, Tripoli, Holtzman spot is now the Skakel spot. But you can get a glimpse of me at the Comedy Store in my newest YouTube 15-minute late-night comedy set clip. Or if you don't do YouTube, you can go on Instagram. It's the newest reel. And watch to your heart's content. Trying to provide more content for you guys. So on the rare chance we're ever in the same city, you guys might say, hey, Skakel's playing at this place. Let's go check him out. So there you go. All right, I'm expecting MJF to come out. All right, so we're clearly having an MJF Adam Cole feud coming. That should be interesting. Hit the like button. We got 8 people strong in here. 7 people now. That's all right. We're all soldiers in the Earl Army. The next AEW pay-per-view, Full Gear, so they're starting to ramp up the feuds. November, I think it's in mid-November. Oh, Adam Cole talking about MJF's hair. No one likes to hear jokes about their hair. I have most of my hair. Not a bad hairline for 56. And most of my color. Thank you very much.
Everyone in this arena, if you
Adam Cole has a nice head of hair. I'll give him that.
everyone who's watching at home, if you go on social media,
Let's see what's trending on
like he doesn't care.
Twitter.
God, he'll be crying in a little corner by himself in his hotel room.
Liam Payne. Oh, a Liam Payne from One Direction. Oh, wait, we got a Kenny Omega. I'm cheating right now. Oh, it's his birthday today.
Can't be trusted. And everyone in that locker room right now is smiling and agreeing with every single thing.
Interesting.
I'm saying.
Who knows? I don't know if I'll be doing another set for XPW. I'm at the point where I don't really want to battle crowds anymore. I want to be set up for success, not just surviving. So I can't answer that question at this time. William. My next set is this Saturday night at the Comedy Store, 12:15. I don't know if I want to be the head writer for XPW. Now AEW, I think we could do some business. I got some good ideas, but someone has to put me in touch with Tony Khan.
I hate you, Max. I hate everything that you are and everything that you stand for.
It's a good speech by Adam Cole so far.
I hate the fact that I have to share a building with you. So Max,
I mean, you're right. I mean, a lot of people are closet XPW fans, to be honest with you. Oh, they are in San Jose, so West Coast AEW. That's a pretty big arena for them to fill. All right, here comes MJF. MJF goes to Diddy parties. That's a good sign. The sign game is strong in AEW because I don't think they really check the security of what's on the signs. I don't think WWE would let that sign fly. I think AEW has the here comes a video package from MJF.
I've been at this since I was a teenager. A full decade later, I can say I've learned a lot. Through maturity, through loss.
Interesting.
And as a multimillionaire at 28, there's been a lot of gain. Then learning how to trust others.
MJF does play the heel very well.
In this sport, there's no such thing as trust.
I will give him that. It's very reminiscent of like a Ted DiBiase, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. I like it. You could tell he pays respects to those guys because he was a wrestling fan as a kid. Who wasn't? He's getting to live out his fantasies right now. By the way, a major step was taken today by someone whose name I cannot reveal at this time to get Earl, the Daddy Man Skakel, on Guffeld. So I should know sooner than later about that, which would be very cool to make my debut on Fox News. Yes, those Mr. Perfect vignettes were top of the charts. I think I would do very well on Guffeld. I've watched the show enough to get the pace. Well, but Fox News needs the Skakel humor. I mean, I don't know if me and Titus would get along, to be honest with you. I could tell Titus thinks he's funnier than he is. But maybe we would. I mean, maybe we could bond over pro wrestling. I don't know if he was an NWA champ. I didn't really watch NWA, to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't watched NWA since Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff feuded. I mean, that would be nice. It's a TV credit, and it's a pretty popular show. I know my friend Jamie Lissau has been on it a lot and done quite well playing theaters and whatnot. So, and I know others Adam Hunter has gone on it and done quite well. So I'm excited. Well, how do you say it? Gutfeld, right? It's all right, Dr. Nova. I'm expecting Chicken Man Brennan to come in. You guys seem to be attached at the hip, but I don't mind it. All right, so a pretty good opening segment with Adam Cole and the MJF. Let's fast forward. Now we got Chris Jericho. I don't know. I'm not really feeling that. FTR coming out for my friend Big Bill and the bad apple Brian Keith. I guess he is no longer the bounty hunter. I mean, Big Bill, if you look at Big Bill, can you imagine him in my Jeep? That's all right. It's all love. All love. Oh, you mean, yeah, I see what you're, Titus, the black guy. Well, I guess Tyrus is a black guy, too. I just don't, from what I've watched, you can tell Tyrus thinks I'm a comic now. It's like, I don't know about that. It would really depend. How good I do would really depend on who the other panelists were. Usually they have two dudes and two hot girls. And I find that these political consultants, especially the women, don't really have a great sense of humor. They'd probably look at me as some sexist pig. Is Tyrus an NWA champ? I haven't watched NWA. I wouldn't even know how to watch NWA, to be honest with you. All right. I mean, I tell you what, Dax Harwood, he seems like he really hits you. So we got Mercedes Moné and Queen Aminata wrestling tonight. I'm assuming Swerve Strickland will. We got a trios match with the Young Bucks and Okada against Kyle O'Reilly, my buddy Rocky Romero, and Orange Cassidy. That'll be a good match. We've got Shelton Benjamin against Lio Rush. That should be a good match. I mean, Shelton Benjamin can wrestle. And then we got Jay White and Christian Cage. That's a good match. So that's a pretty good Dynamite. Well, I mean, I just think that most of those political consultants. I mean, Tyrus is a big dude. I mean, but you can tell, like, I mean, he might be funny. I can't lie. I've never seen a set from him. So, I'm not fake in that regard. I can only judge his sense of humor on what I've seen on Gutfeld, and he just seems like, oh, stand-up's not so hard. I can do it. I was a famous wrestler. So who knows? Maybe I should worry about that when I get on the show. Of course, it's filmed in New York. I will have to go to New York City. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a spot at the stand and get past at the cellar. I like to combine many birds with stones, if you know what I'm saying. Big Bill looking good. He is that big. He's bigger than he looks, which is scary. He could barely fit in my Jeep. Well, I think Gutfeld would make or break me. I think I'd either be the star and I'd be asked to come back many times, or I'd be one and done. This guy's too rogue. Ragu. He might be, I've been doing stand-up comedy long enough where I can tell when someone has an attitude. And Tyrus very much reminds me of Brendan Schaub, like when he started coming around the Comedy Store, you could tell he felt like, oh, I belong here. It's like, It would literally be like me walking into a UFC locker room going, yeah, I'm the man. Christopher Hitchens seemed like a good dude, if you can get on there. But I mean, it is a good gig. I mean, it's good. Listen, whether you like Fox News or not, it's watched by a lot of people. It's essentially the new Chelsea lately, or Tough Crowd. And I think the format very much suits my style. And if I could get on with Rob Schneider, that would be great, because we have good chemistry. So, who knows? I mean, it's looking good. I mean, I know Gutfeld loves Rob Schneider, so, but, I hear Gutfeld's very picky, so who knows? I think he was also, flatmates with Devon. I watch Hannibal TV. I actually wrote him some roast jokes. He was roasting someone, and I reached out to him. He said, hey, can you write me some jokes? I think he was roasting Meltzer or something. I forget who. Well, I mean, Dr. Nova, Hitchens strikes me as like a hockey tough guy. Speaking of hockey, let me go back to the King game. Three nothing. 18-20 left to go in the second period. And what I mean by that is, most hockey tough guys are the nicest guys on the team. So, I have not met Tanner Jeannot yet on the LA Kings, but I would guarantee that he is probably the nicest guy in the Kings. Maybe outside of Kopitar. So Hitchens, kind of seems like a dick. Like if you just watch his interviews, like pompous. But I guarantee you he probably gave money to every charity and whatnot. So I can't believe hockey's on and you're talking to us. Well, I'm trying to I don't know if the Flames won. By the way, last night, whether you like hockey or not, well, William, I finally found a way to have the sound on and have it not bother you guys. So I can stream while I watch TV. Now, that might seem kind of like a dick move, but I can't do these 5-hour streams like MLC and Win by Two and Melton. So I have to distract myself with TV. So we're already at a half hour. Yeah, I mean, there's no music really played in a hockey game, so I don't think the sound is loud enough where YouTube can pick it up. So amazing. The great Jesse Lee Peterson. Okay. Well, I mean, so far so good. Although I did get a copyright strike, a non-threatening one, for the clip I posted about Jesse Lee Peterson. But he gave me the clip. So I don't really understand that problem. But then you have Ari Shaffir, who plays full songs of like famous bands, and he gets away with it. So, oh, good. Yeah, I mean, it's at a pretty low volume, and luckily, I mean, there's a speaker right there, but it's all the speakers are pointed that way. So I'll just keep doing it till I do it. I mean, podcasting is it's not easy. And really, not to pat myself on the back, but it's even harder how I do it because I don't stream snipe. I might have to get some water. Hold on. Sorry about that. Got a little frog in my throat. Uh-oh. It's filtered water. Thank you very much. Kane's playing a little bit better this period. Getting some shots on net. I mean, well, they said that I can still play the video, but it's just not monetized. But I don't know. That's weird to me that I could literally get the clip from Jesse. But I mean, not that I'm just going to make a lot of money on it anyway, to be honest with you. But and by the way, I will. I've been asked to come on MLC next week. I said I would, as long as we don't talk about anything regards to the verse. But I know Kevin is a voyeur, so who knows? By the way, next Thursday, a week from tomorrow night, after I get my teeth cleaned, I will be going to the Anaheim House of Blues to see Friends Bowling for Soup. Always a good time to see the boys. And that's also a home opener for the LA Kings playing the San Jose Sharks. So me and Grant Thor will be enemies for 3 hours. Maybe we'll do a pilot episode right now of Ask Earl Anything. But all Dabbleverse questions are super chats only. Super chats only. 15:22 left to go in the second period. Kings down 3-0. They are actually outshooting the Maple Leafs. So that is funny how one team could be outshooting someone 20-12 and they're losing 3-0. Whoa. So who knows? I mean, hockey. I mean, the Kings lost the other day to Ottawa 8-7. So anything can happen in hockey. And I believe the Kings play the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow, so they better figure it out. How is Pierre-Luc Dubois doing? Let me. I stay loyal. I hear he's kind of playing like he was in LA. Like he only played 15 minutes last night, and he's supposed to be your number one center. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. He had a bad game last night, apparently. I mean, my dad's dad is a pretty smart businessman. I mean, literally nobody was making money in that era. I mean, it was a depression, and I mean, my dad was pretty smart too. Like, he just fucked up on one deal where he went all in. I mean, my dad was a poker player. And if this oil drilling project in the Amazon would have hit, I'd own the fucking internet. But it didn't. So I got to make it as a stand-up comic to make the money, honey. But that's all right. Yeah, I don't know if Jesse Lee Peterson loves hockey. But I hope to be back on that show. I had a good time, He's an interesting guy, I mean, he's a troll, he's really a black Alex Stein. Well, I'm not, my dad never really talked about it. So I'm not exactly sure how the failure happened. You're right, William. They probably just didn't drill deep enough. Maybe they ran out of money, or they didn't have the right drilling tools or whatever. I mean, this is the 60s, so it's not like today where you could probably graph out on some internet scope. Okay, we need to drill 400 feet more. My dad was like a modern day MacGyver. He literally surfed on the whale. I mean, it's really not anything technically crazy, to be honest with you, Felix. And you saw, it's very much like in Jaws. They shot the whale where the barrel, so when the whale went under, and my dad went under with the whale, you could see where the whale and my dad was because the barrel was sticking out of the water. So pretty interesting. Dr. Nova, that I don't know. By the way, pretty amazing. My aunt's funeral today, which I was invited to but did not go. I wasn't that close with her, to be honest with you. And I didn't want to use it as like a networking fucking function. But pretty crazy that you had like 3 U.S. presidents at her funeral. Clinton, Obama, and Biden. And I mean, that's pretty fucking amazing. I mean, that would have been neat to see. I mean, this funeral, outside of a presidential funeral, when Biden goes or Obama goes or Bush goes, I'm surprised Bush wasn't there. This might be the last of the big funerals, like where you have that kind of star power. My family sent flowers. I did not personally send flowers, but I'm good friends and obviously first cousins with her son Max. So, it's. But a lot of my the Skakels were well represented. I mean, I did think a Skakel should have been one of the pallbearers. I'm not saying me, but like she was a Skakel. And if you knew Ethel, which I'm sure none of you did, but like, she was much more a Skakel than a Kennedy. But it was a very good send off for an amazing lady. I used to dirt bike all the time in Westwood, which is a suburb basically where the campus of UCLA is. There's lots of canyons and hills, and I had my mongoose bicycle, and I was a little terror on that thing. We'd go to Seppi's Deli and get a nice Sammy and look for babes. Of course, I wasn't that great with girls in the 8th grade, so I strike out city, but I didn't really peak with girls until I got past at the Comedy Store, ironically enough. And then I found that wearing leather pants in public is an aphrodisiac if you're funny. Whoa. Jesus. Nylander had a nice opportunity there. It was almost 4-0. We got 12 minutes left to go in the third period. In the second period, I apologize. 3-0. Kings have played. There's Max Domi. Of course, I was on the Ric Flair roast with his father, Ty Domi, and now it is 4-0. So this game is rough for King fans, no doubt about it. They are just not playing well. Defensive breakdown. Brant Clark, this is one of those games where Clark is showing his I don't know what England was doing there. Yeah, I mean, I won't say Westwood was like that, Dr. Nova, but it was just the hillsides were cool because in between Bel Air and UCLA were some great, just uncharted like hiking paths that we used as biking paths, and some very good childhood memories of doing that. All right, we got another penalty on the Kings. Mikey Anderson, puck over the glass, delay of game. So this is just one of those games for the Kings that, sometimes it's best to just take a knee. Baltimore is rough. I mean, parts of LA are rough. But, obviously with Jake Ely getting shot, parts of Vegas are rough. I mean, I don't think any city is like parts of New York are rough. I mean, it's a tough. I don't think there's one. Even like you would think somewhere like Oregon. Well, there's no bad parts of Oregon, but there's a lot of. I played one of my first comedy road gigs. It might have been my first comedy road gig. Was Medford, Oregon, and apparently it was like the speed freak capital of the world. Oregon. I imagine the hillsides and stuff were very cool. You were basically living the cool life that all the rest of us in Middle America watched in movies. I mean, it was awesome. Like growing up in Westwood in the 80s. I mean, Westwood was iconic for movies. Like if you were on a date, I would say my first 100 dates were all in Westwood because you'd go eat. There's a great Italian restaurant that's no longer there, of course. Maria's. That was like the big date place. And then you'd go walk around, you'd get ice cream or yogurt or whatever and see a movie. And then you just walk around. I mean, you would basically be cruising, but not in a car, but on foot. And, every now and then from time to time when I can't sleep, I'll walk Lois in Westwood. And man, it's such a bummer. Like one movie theater I went to see a ton of movies is now a Whole Foods. And probably my favorite movie theater, the Mann National, where I saw like Big Wednesday and Some Kind of Wonderful and Beverly Hills Cop and just so many movies, is now a condo complex. So it just kind of, and like a lot of vacant, a lot of for lease signs. Homeless is out of control in Westwood. And even some of the bars I used to go to pick up on the punane, they're all gone. The video store that I helped shut down, Westworld, that's a vacant storefront now. Westworld, the video game arcade, which was iconic to me in my childhood, that's for lease. I think the two iconic theaters left are the Village and the Bruin. They are, I believe they shut down, but some big-time Hollywood directors were trying to revive them. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, really the only thing happening at night in Westwood is there's like, I think it's called Dee Reese's. It's like a cookie place that a lot of, let's just say, urban people hang out late night, but rich urban people. Like you go, when I walked Lois a couple weeks ago there, you know, the whole street was Ferraris and Rolls Royces. So I think it's like a rapper hangout now. No, thank you. Yes, the Kings play tomorrow night in Montreal, so probably good to play after a game like this. Woo! So we'll go another 15 minutes here. I mean, we got a lot of good shit on TV tonight in the Earlverse. You got hockey. You've got Survivor. I don't think Big Brother's on. I think Big Brother's over, I believe. So I don't know what's on CBS. Let's see what's on CBS tonight now that Big Brother is over. It's always interesting to see what they... Oh, you got Survivor for an hour and a half. Chicago PD. So it's a good TV night for Skakel. All right, the Kings are going on a power play now. They need something, I'll tell you that much. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Were you listening, watching to MLC when Chad called? I was not, to be completely honest with you. What was I doing? I think I was watching an old episode of Ink Master, trying to write a joke. So that phone call was legit. The Chicken Man appears. Praise Allah. So I will make my return to MLC next week. He's Easy123. I haven't seen you in the stream in a while. I guess you would say, are you saying Chad is a ball washer? I love that phrase. You know, it appears to be a limited. I gave it a test run the other night. There's a limited market for a Philip Michael Thomas reference. It's all good, Easy123. I mean, I know people are busy. And I know that I'm probably the last guy to stream in the day. So, you know, you've got Shuley and Melton in the morning. You've got Chad in the early afternoon, late morning. Then you've got MLC. And then you've got Dr. Chow and Pat Dixon, wherever he does it. So I realize that people at, what time is it now? At 6:02 my time, you're probably burnt out. This is interesting. The Kings have just changed goalies. We've got Phoenix Copley, who in 6 seasons has a 44-16-8 record. Has played the last 2 seasons with the Kings, but he was injured last night, or injured last season with ACL surgery. I've had that surgery. It's brutal. So it'll be interesting to see his flexibility in that surgically repaired leg. Well, no, it's a funny joke. I just think that you have to kind of you got to be of a certain age to get that joke. So if the crowd's hot, I would do that joke knowing that even if it bombs, I'll have a save line. Like Sunday night, the crowd was hot. That's the clip I put up on YouTube and Instagram. Well, ACL, you know, what I found the most horrifying about the surgery was, one, the rehab. The rehab was worse than the actual injury, but also it's mentally, you're very afraid to stretch out that knee again, because that's how my knee got injured. It was a knee to knee hit, and my knee went literally like that way. So I would imagine for an NHL goalie to have worries about stretching your leg out, um, that'd be pretty rough. Now, I had a great surgeon, and everything he said happened by the minute. He said, you won't be the same for 2 years. You'll cry at the end of your first rehab session because you won't be able to do anything. And, you're a young guy, so that's going to be tough for you mentally. And he was right. Literally, the first exercise my rehab guy had me do was to try and do a leg extension on the rehab table. And so he asked me to do 10 on my left leg, which was my good leg. And that was fine. And then literally I couldn't move my surgically repaired leg an inch. I will, Peter Chicken Man, Brennan. 100% I will. And I will also tell him that I will be going on MLC. Maybe that's the bridge to bring Neil on. I mean, that would break the internet if I could garner that deal. My third leg was, I probably could have done that back in that era. I mean, that's that's a 23-year-old Earl. I was as horny as a three-peckered billy goat. Well, it was a knee-to-knee hit, and it was about 91, early 91. And when it happened, I heard something pop. But I still played the game. The rest of the game I played, and I scored a goal. And when I got home that night, it was stiff. It was very sore. But I didn't think anything of it. And when I got up about 10 a.m., it's weird how you can remember stuff. I literally couldn't move my leg. Like, you could have offered me $1 billion, and I could not have moved my leg. So I crawled down to the garage, crawled down to my car space, which of course was at the end of the garage, and parked my car. I literally looked up knee doctor in the white pages. And I'll never forget the guy's name, Joseph Nicolella. He was the Raiders doctor. Now, I don't think I knew that at the time. And I go there, parked the car, and I couldn't walk. So I got out in the streets of Beverly Hills. I was literally crawling across the street. A cop sees me. He probably thought I was fucking whacked out. I said, hey, man, I can't move my leg. I'm trying to get to this address. And he literally picked me up and carried me into the doctor's office. And this fucking doctor, he didn't take an MRI. He just said, you probably got pulled ligaments and a bone chip. Okay. I figured out it's the Raiders doctor. He sees this shit every day in practice, probably. Well, he kind of misdiagnosed me. And looking back, I tore my ACL then. But all through the 90s and the early 2000s, I was squatting 600 pounds, 6 plates on each side. Now, it wasn't the greatest form, to be honest with you, but I was getting it done pretty easily, which is insane because you think I was doing that much weight with one ACL. Pretty fucking impressive to me. But then about 2004, I started getting these severe pains on both sides of my right knee. I literally felt like someone was stabbing me with knives. So I saw a doctor. And he just looked at me and goes, "You know, you don't have an ACL, right?" I'm like, no. And so he took pictures, X-rays, MRI, and he showed me the pictures. In my right knee, all the tendons and ligaments literally looked like a bowl of spaghetti blew up in my leg. And what the side pain was now with no ACL, I'm not talking a torn ACL. I had no ACL, is the side ligaments were now breaking down. So it was just brutal. But you know, it's just one misdiagnosed. I probably could have sued the Raiders doctor, but like it's like 14 years later. So I just had the surgery, and here I am. What up, Sour Milk? Looking good, Dutch. By the way, if you watch AEW wrestling, if you ever see the Outrunners wrestle, they do the Predator finish where they'll knock out their opponent. They'll do the Schwarzenegger Weathers handshake and go looking good, and then they do an elbow drop. When Earl hurt his knee, he just used his third leg. I wish. The super chats on Neil's appearance would be, I think Kevin would get $10,000 in super chats. I like Michikov. He's kind of dirty too, and I like that. I mean, he's feisty. Hello, easy123. Yes, I have my ACL is a. They took a healthy ACL from a cadaver, and they grafted it into my leg. So in my leg right now is a dead person's ACL, but it's when it's cold, it kind of gets a little stiff. But I still play hockey from time to time. I work out every day. I mean, sometimes in yoga, my right knee feels a little weak, but it's. I mean, he was a great surgeon for sure. So I'm very lucky. Shout out to Barry Breaker from Beverly Hills Orthopedic. And I actually ended up boning down with one of the other patients in the office. She was this beautiful blonde older lady with gigantic jugs. And we were in there waiting, and we just were talking shit about all the people in the office. And then we hooked up for a couple years, and then she unfortunately passed away. So shout out to the leopard lady, Yvonne. She owned a limousine company, and the limousine was the outside of it was painted in leopard print. She was a real wild card. And she said, "Earl, I usually only fuck black guys, but you're pretty close." So there you go. We got 2 more minutes left to go. Ironically enough, we've got 2 more minutes left to go in the second period. So as soon as the second period ends in the Kings-Leafs game, so does this stream. I will put the arrow over the end stream. I love you all. I appreciate you listening. Yes, that is a good Earl story time. Shout out to Yvonne W., the leopard lady. Rest in peace. I'm around a lot of death. No OT. No, we don't do. I don't shill for money on here. 5-0. Toronto Maple Leafs. This is brutal. Yeah, well, I haven't. We've been doing this 58 minutes, and I have not asked for money once. I don't do that. Yes, I believe Jake Ely will recover. Like we've said in the last 2 streams, Vegas at night ain't a pretty city. Shout out to the Vegas Tourism Board for making Vegas seem like the bombdiggity.com. But hopefully he recovers. And I got to imagine Jake Ely, after 50 years of partying pretty hard, is not in the best internal shape. So hopefully You know, if Sharon had any fucking morals, she would give him publishing on the Bark of the Moon and Ultimate Sin records. That would, you got to figure Jake E. Lee doesn't have great health insurance. It's just a hunch. I have not. Well, I've talked to Danish very, very few times since the break. I mean, he's busy with 2 kids, man. You know, he don't have time to talk to me. I believe he moved back home to Boston, from what I understand. You know, I barely talk to O'Neill, and we live in the same city. Although O'Neill did bring me up the other night at the Comedy Store. Man, Brant Clark just got smoked. The only good thing about the Kings getting blown out is we might see a Ryan Reeves Janot fight. They seem to fight often. I don't know what the Kings do tomorrow night. I would assume Akil Thomas, Comedy Store friend, will be in the lineup. I mean, they got to do something, man. Hold on. We got, all right. Fiala had a nice shot there. Oh, I love Dana. She's one of the funnier dudes I know, but, you know, I don't know exactly what happened with O'Neill and Danish, and I'm not covering up for either one. I don't get involved in other people's drama. Oh, no, I did not. Do you know which Sabres? I know a few Sabres. I'm friends with Dylan Cousins. He's a good dude. Where's the next time you're getting bumped by Les Dog at the Comedy Store? Hopefully never. But who knows? All right, we'll go back to AEW Wrestling, see what's going on there. I really don't know the inside scoop, to be brutally honest with you. I like both guys equally. Of course, I'm a little closer with O'Neill because he's obviously helping me with my special, but I've got nothing but love for Danish too. I mean, I've known those guys for 15 years. So, and to be honest with you, both guys, when I'm around, I mean, I'm not really around. I've seen Danish a few times at the store before he moved. Obviously, I see O'Neill a lot. We just don't bring it up. It's none of my business. So I mean, it's too bad, but I get it. They were partners for a very long time, and this is it's a fucking brutal business to have a longtime partner in. I mean, with Gene and Paul, I think they did it for fucking money. They probably hate each other. Imagine working with someone for 50 years, but I don't know if Danish and O'Neill were making that much money where they say, fuck it, let's just do it, even though we're not really getting along anymore. What up, Brian? I'm about to end the stream to watch AEW wrestling, have a little dinner. We'll probably stream tomorrow night. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll do a live first period watch of the Kings and the Canadians. And thank you for Gina Bobina, William Zoom, and Kip Smith for being in the chat. I'm sure someone else is streaming right now. We don't stream snipe here in the Earl Skakelverse. I'll probably order from the Dialogue Cafe. I get a nice fat orange juice since it's got a lot of vitamin C. When I get sick, I really overload my system with vitamin C. I take everything, echinacea, zinc, whatever. So. Watch some Sarah Tiana. That's a fun broad. Sarah's one of my best friends in comedy, so we don't talk a lot, but I love her. It's funny when we roast battled on TV, we both said, hey, at the end, let's make out no matter who wins. So I got to kiss Sarah Tiana on national television. Of course, my ex-girlfriend was in the crowd. I don't think she dug that, but you know what? She was a bitch. The gloves are off. Yeah, I mean, but the Dialogue Cafe, they do fresh orange juice, so I know that I'm getting 100% vitamin C. I'm feeling pretty good. So what's for dinner? I'm not cooking. Single Earl does not cook. Well, really, when I have a girlfriend, I don't cook either. They cook. I just pay for everything. Still not enough. The gloves are off. Let's go. No, I do not cook, 100%. So you guys have a good night. We will stream tomorrow night at, I think, around 4 p.m. And, yeah, I mean, I wish I did cook because it's probably cheaper. But I don't mind paying to get it cooked, done right. So, all right. FTR beats Big Bill and the Bounty Hunter Brian Cook. All right, here come my favorites, the Outrunners. They're over with the crowd, man. I love it. I love these guys. So Earl Skakel over now. I love you all. See you tomorrow night.